6 years ago, I had a student named Mary Watts. She was very bright and passionate, extraordinary student, and a joy to teach. By the end of her junior year, she met this guy named Jason. I was her administrative advisor. Every time we met, he's all she'd talk about. But her work never suffered. She stuck to her plan, made time for everything, school, work, and Jason. Whenever she wasn't working at school, she was with Jason. Everything was hunky-dory to the end of her senior year. And that's when I noticed her starting to lose focus on her schoolwork and her plans after college. Everything she had worked hard for over the past 4 years. And then one day, Mary came into my office crying. She told me that for the past 6 months, Jason was beating her. And for the past 3 months, the beatings were getting worse and worse. And I got so angry when I heard this. I suggested we go to the police, report it, but she didn't want to. She just wanted me to listen. And it was so hard for me to sit there and just listen and not do anything. I advised Mary several times after that day to go to the police, leave Jason, but she wouldn't. She felt like she could help him, said she could love him through it, and that he really didn't mean it. I don't know. Yeah, but one day Mary came over and she introduced me to Jason finally. He came up to me one night after class, smiled, reached out his hand, and said, "Nice to meet you." And as soon as his hand touched mine, I lost it. I grabbed him by his jacket, I threw him in his car, and after I went upside his head a couple of times, I told him that if he ever touches her again, I would do to him what he did to her. All of a sudden, Mary goes off like a gun. Does she join in on giving Jason some of his own medicine? Or verbally express how she feels about being beaten over the last 6 months? No. She goes off on me. She got so angry with me, telling me it was none of my business. All I was trying to do was help and protect her. She couldn't believe I was hurting him. She couldn't believe I was hurting him after all he had did to her. All she could do was think about Jason. I vowed that night I'll never get that involved again.
So what happened to her?
Well, she graduated with honors, top of her class, got a great job offer from a company in Chicago. She decided to take it.
Sounds like everything worked out okay.
Not quite. The night she was preparing to leave to catch her flight, Jason came over to ask her to stay. And when she refused, he got violent, started slapping her around. Slaps turned to punches. His last punch forced Mary out of a 2-story window, paralyzing her from the waist down. When I got to the hospital, she was in a coma. And when I saw that child lying in that hospital bed, helpless, unconscious, fighting for her life, it was like it was one of my own children. I never wanted to go out and kill a man more in my life than I did on this night. She came out of the coma 3 days later. I was there when she woke up. The first thing she said to me was, "I'm sorry I didn't listen." We still talk, even to this day. She tells me every time she talks to me how she wishes she would have left Jason alone. Called the police, did something, got out while she had a chance. And she lost the job because the company deemed her unable to perform. She now lives on disability. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. Girl, you're going to have to ask yourself, not how much you love this young man and how you can help him, but how much do you love yourself and help yourself, sweetie?